So sometimes on wedding days, crazy things happen.
What an amazing contribution for someone who did it.
But what separates a good photographer from a great photographer is how you manage and handle the adversity. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna take you on a little journey, a little adventure through one of the craziest things that has happened to me recently at a real wedding. And I'm gonna show you what I did, the choices I made, and how I executed and really took charge after this incident happened in order to give my clients what they deserved despite the unfortunate situation that happened during their ceremony. All right, so we're photographing this beautiful, very elaborate, high-end wedding at Dover Hall Estate. This is just minutes from our house. It's a beautiful couple, amazing. The ceremony, the whole day, honestly, until the ceremony was going great. If you're in All Access, which is our membership, you've watched me shoot this entire wedding, but this is the part that was crazy. During the ceremony, it wasn't even that hot, but a groomsman just fell out. And I'm not saying just like, oh, got a little woozy, like literally fell, like pretty much landed on his face and was completely kind of unresponsive for at least 30 seconds, I would say. Ty was there. I mean, he was filming it as a videographer, not filming for All Access. And so there was a moment of like, oh gosh, what is happening? People were screaming. People were like, oh, his wife was really understandably so upset. I've never experienced this happen before, but not only did the ceremony stop, but they actually removed all the guests from the ceremony location and kind of had a like makeshift cocktail hour while they're waiting for the ambulance to show up. So we're standing there like, okay, in the midst of the chaos, I did kind of naturally just dive in like, it's okay, this happens all the time. It's all right, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it's okay. Does not happen all the time. But I was trying to reassure them and let them know like, it's okay, it's all right, this is fine. No big deal. We're gonna be fine. And stepping in and just trying to calm everybody down. But
I gotta tell you, I have a ton of wide shots with everybody. You would never know if people are sitting. The tight shot of the kiss is of just you, like you would never know. If you want everyone to sit down, that's not odd to me.
I'm like, should we just have everybody sit down? Sure.
But then, because the officiant was already pretty long-winded, it was a very long ceremony, when all the guests came back in and we started over, we assumed wrongly that he would actually start where he left off and condense because we were almost an hour behind already. He did not.
Brad, start over.
He kind of restarted what he had already said, and we lost a lot of time again. So the ceremony started, had an emergency, moved everyone, waited for an ambulance, then we went back, had the ceremony all over again. We were incredibly behind, and I had no glowy portraits in the sunlight of this couple, and this was a high-stakes wedding. They invested big time in me, in flowers, in the venue, lots of high expectations. So we're at the ceremony, and the officiant is going on and on and on, and the light is getting lower and lower and lower. As soon as they recessed, as soon as it was done, I was behind them photographing. I got some cute shots of them right at the very end. And then I interjected and said, let's keep going. Like there wasn't stop and talk to parents. There wasn't stop and see the bridal party. There wasn't even really stop and talk to the planner. It was come with me. If we don't do this, you will not have glowy portraits. You will be taking portraits in the dark.
We're gonna rush you guys up and do sunset photos and then come back.
Thank you so very much.
We're going straight out front. Guys, you did it.
Flowers.
Well, maybe you should, just because you paid so much for them.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. We'll do portraits and we will make up time. Okay. Guys, that was beautiful.
Because I knew in my mind I had minutes left with them. I had minutes left with the sun. And I'm going to sacrifice the glow of family portraits. I'm sacrificing the moment where everyone congratulates them and hugs them. I didn't give them that option to have that because if I had, none of this would have happened and they would have zero glowy sunset portraits as husband and wife.
We're going to take advantage of the light because that's what we can't get back. But we can do other things in other ways.
Yeah.
So we will do this. Y'all can enjoy just being alone right after you're married.
We walk out of the house, the sun is setting, we're in an open field, I'm handling some haze, but we keep them walking all the way to a really beautiful tree. I know this tree is gonna be a good fit because I've photographed here before at a similar time of year and there's really great glow. So we use that tree, and then we're rushing, we're hustling. We see like the ambulance is leaving, because the ambulance honestly stayed there and worked on the guy there and decided he's okay. So as the ambulance is leaving, and by the way, we're talking like a matter of minutes here. Like this wasn't, oh, we just created a 20-minute portrait session. We flew through these portraits. And we're using things like, I always teach in my posing course, you use your transitions. You use the posing evolution. You don't set up one shot and pose and say cheese, and then completely rearrange and refluff the dress and do something totally different. Your poses, I could go on for days about this, your poses need to flow into one another. And you have to know in your head how to get multiple varieties and multiple emotions and multiple compositions in one pose when you find yourself in a situation like this. If you want more information about that, I got some freebies and I got a whole course. Well, that's linked below. But anyway, what we did, we're looping back around to family formals, and I see the ambulance leave, and there's some dust in the air, and there are trees, but there's a little sliver of opening in the trees where you see a little bit of that sunset light. There's just a little bit left, and the dust from the dirt road is coming up, and I tell them, guys, I'm sorry, I know I said we're done. Can we please, this is like the song of the photographer. I know we said we're done, but can we do one more set of portraits? I think this took maybe what do you say, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? I pulled them up on this little knoll, which was strategic. I wanted them to be elevated, almost using the ground as part of the composition. I put on my 85mm, knowing that I wanted them to stand off the back of, which I could have done with a 28-70, but it would not been as epic. I wanted them to really pop off the background. I wanted the background to seem close, and I wanted the background to be just this nice soft blur, like pastel blur of green and golden light coming through. Ty, you good? Okay, let me back up. Oh, this is good. Both of you can look at me. Wow. Oh, you're looking up at your husband, girlfriend. I love it. You can nuzzle into him. Beautiful. You can be forehead to forehead together. Gorgeous. Now you're going to look down over your shoulder for me, Danielle. Let those eyes fall like you're checking. You can stay really close to him so he doesn't have to reach, but your eyes, yes, just like that. I just want to make this as epic as we can get it. Perfect. Let me back up. Stay just like that, y'all. This is perfect. Here I am saying y'all to you Bostonians. You're like, what is that girl talking about? Couple more. Beautiful. Y'all can go ahead and share a light kiss. You're going to dip her back just a little bit. You can smile, laugh, stay nice and close, foreheads touching. Kind of rub your noses together. I know that's so odd. Perfect. Foreheads together just for one. Beautiful. And you can pull her back up. Just Danny is looking at me. Model shot just like this. Ryan, you're looking towards Dover, just right over here to that wall. Okay, here we go. You ready? I'm holding it up high. Can I crawl on this? Okay, that's good. Okay, oh, this is it. You're too tall for me, Danny. Beautiful. Now let's switch it up. Danny, you were looking out into the distance. Ryan, you're looking right at me. Perfect. Wow, yes. Both of you smiling here. Your temples can get nice and close together. Beautiful. Guys, you're married. Can you believe it? Yes. Kiss her like you mean it. Kiss your wife. Kiss your wife. And if you're a photographer that ever has like the go home happy shots where you know like what's happening, I could feel it in me. Like this is it. So great pose. The dust was kind of settling, and we got one of the most epic shots of the day in like a 2-minute span. Walked them down the stairs and then started family formals. Ultimately, when I look at this whole scenario and I look at what happened on this wedding day, it would have been perfectly justifiable to not have done that, to not have made the decision and taken charge and really pushed them forward. It would have been fine and understandable for me to say, guys, I'm really sorry we didn't get the glow, but I think we all know why that didn't happen. But I didn't do that because I think deep down what makes me a great photographer is that I can be creative and I can be artistic and I can know my skill and know my camera, but I also know how to take charge when it's needed. And I also know when to step back when it's appropriate. So I think as a photographer, you have to have a certain level of confidence in yourself and in your decisions to make decisions like that result in epic portraits that your clients are ultimately paying you for. So when I think about this whole scenario, and I think about the wedding photography industry and what I see happening in the world of wedding photographers, I think the X factor that makes a wedding photographer just okay and makes them exceptional is the ability to be able to perform in circumstances that are not great. Taking great pictures in a great scenario is honestly pretty easy to do, but taking great photos in a scenario that is challenging and throws darts at you because you're like, what in the world just happened? I've got to get back on my A game. That is what separates you. And quite honestly, as I've grown in my career, I've realized that my ability to take a bad situation and turn it around for my clients is what I get. That's what my clients reference when they're giving me reviews. That's what clients talk about when they say, oh, I had a KJ experience. And so my challenge to you as a photographer is to be able to look for these opportunities and not just stand back passively when things don't go as expected. And the only way that you can do that and get better at that is with practice. But if you don't have the practice, if you don't have the opportunity, then a secondary way that you can get better is to watch someone else do it. So this is why I created KJ All Access, because the only way that a photographer is going to be prepared and be able to take a hard situation and still deliver an amazing client experience with awesome images is to have experience, to practice it. But instead of practicing hard situations, maybe you don't even have that opportunity. You do have the opportunity to watch me do it, to watch me photograph hard scenarios, weddings that don't go as planned, timelines that get thrown off, emergency situations that kill all the portrait time like this scenario. I'm allowing and have allowed thousands of photographers to watch me photograph hundreds of weddings and sessions to be able to see what it looks like for a real photographer to deal with real problems. Ultimately, you're going to find these scenarios in your career. Maybe it's this weekend, maybe it's your next wedding, maybe it's the shoot you have tomorrow, I don't know, but you're going to find yourself in situations where you can't find the good light and you don't know what to do when your posing gets stale and you don't know what to do when something falls apart at a ceremony and eats up all of your portrait time. But if you've watched a professional solve these problems, if you've heard what a photographer says in the midst of a posing crisis, if you've watched a photographer even edit problem images, you are 10 times more likely to be able to fix and find your own solution. So KJ All Access exists to empower photographers that need real life experience and that need it fast in order to find the solutions they need to fix their problems in their business. It's only $29. It's something that we recommend to any photographer of any experience level, but especially the photographers that are beginning their journey and lack experience. So when the real world hits you in the photography industry, you are already prepared and you have my voice in the back of your head helping you find your solutions to the issues that you're facing. So all of that information, if you want to learn more, it's linked below. There's a free trial. You can see if you like it. And the cool thing about KJ All Access 2.0 is that you can filter now and search for your exact problem. So dark barn, raining wedding day, large bridal party, whatever it is that's intimidating you, you can search through all of these videos and find exactly what you need to watch to be prepared for what's about to happen to you. So I'm glad you tuned in. Thanks for watching. You'll never look at these photos again without understanding what really happened behind the scenes. And if you want to watch this full wedding day, it's waiting for you in KJ All Access, and I will see you on the inside. So until next time, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I will see you on the very next video. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.